Hi, here we are with Jordana Pomeroy at the Frost Museum and with Hortensia Soriano showing us the show of her father, Rafael Soriano. We are very excited about seeing all these paintings and let you know a little bit more about them.
Sure, I'm super excited. Welcome to the Frost, and this is Rafael Soriano, the artist is Mystic, and this exhibit actually started in Boston at the McMullen Museum, organized by Elizabeth Goizueta, and it's been a traveling exhibit, and it went to Long Beach Museum of Art, and now it's finishing up here at the Frost, which is my father's backyard, and where he painted really for 40 years of his life until he passed away at the age of 94. So here we have the geometrics, which are the paintings that he was painting in the 1950s. And we've got about 5 of the original geometrics that were in a beautiful show that was in Havana, in the museum in Havana, in 1955. And you'll see that one, it's called Luciérnaga, which is firefly. And for me, that's one of his beautiful masterpieces from the 1950s. It's a 1955 piece.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. And can you show us a little bit more about what we're seeing there? I see a change in his work.
Sure, yes. So over here, we still have the geometrics, but they put 2 pieces from the 1940s, which is how he was painting in the 40s, surrealism, and then a concrete piece here. And so you see the difference from decade to decade. And so he leaves Cuba in 1962. He comes to Miami, and for 2 years, he's traumatized and doesn't paint. But when he starts painting again, he has kind of a spiritual reawakening, and his paintings start to change. Those hard geometric edges, they soften and they become more malleable. And so here you have a good presentation of some of the paintings from the 1970s that he was doing.
I love that moon.
The moon. That's called La Noche, and that's a beautiful transitional piece. And you see these recurring moons in his paintings because he was a nighttime painter. Okay,
yeah,
so yes.
Oh yeah, tell the story about you as a child listening to his music that he had a sort of interesting eclectic musical taste.
Right. So my father painted only at night, and he painted with music and all kinds of music, like classical, tribal music, electronic music. I mean, sometimes it sounded like aliens were landing because I could hear all the music from my bedroom. And he listened to Grace Jones, like in the late 70s. So he loved to paint with music. And here we see beautiful examples of some of his paintings now that come into the 90s, his more mature phase in which he really masters the light. My father was a master of light as well as a master of colorist.
Actually, and this is one of these things we had to think about when we chose our wall color. So when you walk into these galleries, you have we tried out, I think, 8 different shades of purple, and some really made the paintings kind of muddied them, and then we chose this one because it really shows how the light emanates from the painting.
Pull them up, yes.
Yes.
And I see those beautiful blue paintings.
Oh, yes.
What are the names? Because I know you told me that names were important,
right? The names were important because both my mom and my father, they would put the names together. They would come together when the painting was finished, and my father would say, okay, what do you see? What do you feel? And both of them would actually title the paintings. And I must say, I cannot talk about my father without talking about my mom, who was the carpenter. My mom made all these frames. She mounted all his canvases, and she really was his #1 fan. So I have to give her credit for that. And here we have some beautiful paintings, and you have here a favorite of mine, which is called Angustia del Olvido. And the reason I love this painting is that my father was a man of very few words, but you know exactly what he was feeling in 1996 when he's diagnosed with dementia. And so this is a painting that's very powerful, very powerful for me. Yes, yes.
So I noticed that there is something super interesting here about your home, and that Jordana invited you to bring it here.
Oh well, let's go see Rafael Soriano's studio. This is really actually unique to the Frost Art Museum because nobody else brought his furnishings, and I like to think it really brings the man here. And
Sure, and we're just passing some beautiful blues over here. Nave flotante, cabeza hechizada, which is the blues in his palettes are from his Bay of Matanzas that he remembered. He was very connected to the ocean, so in his palettes you see those blues.
Ocean,
absolutely,
right?
It changed colors sometimes 6 or 7 times during the day, depending on the light.
So now Jordana is going to invite
Please
us.
do not enter, does not apply to the director or to Hortensia.
See, we're so lucky.
So come on in.
So here we have really a recreation of his studio, and when Jordana visited,
Yeah, no, I mean, I came into the house and, well, first I wasn't sure it was the right house, and I looked through the window and I saw all of the work hanging in the living room, sort of cheek by jowl, and I said, this is the place. And we went back into the studio, which is really the Florida room converted into the studio. And, you know, what struck me is just that he looked like he had just left for a moment to get a cafecito.
Right.
And I looked around and I thought, I said, Hortensia, do you think we could like borrow the chair and the easel and the paints and...
Sure, and here it is, and a very interesting story. This is the easel that we bought in 1965 at a thrift shop for $3. So this is what he painted many of these masterpieces on this easel, and there's his palette and his brushes and his oil paints and the chair that he painted. I can almost see him sitting here, hearing the music and just painting.
You can see his brushes in the jar, his diploma. Actually, I started taking things off the wall. How about this painting? How about this photograph? How about, but I wanted to give everybody the sense that, this is a real... A living being. This person was very dear to many Miamians too, so I really felt like that would hit home for many of our visitors.
So I think this is a great way to finish this beautiful moment. And thank you, Jordana, and thank you, Hortensia, for being with us. And we'll share it with everybody around the world and in New York in our TV program.
Well, thank you, Graciela. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.